Good morning. Good to have your company this lovely Wednesday, the 5th day of April 2023. My name is Sandra Kahunde, welcoming you for this special episode as we continue to celebrate the women, and not only the women in ICT, but of course it's something that we have to tag along with. It is part of us in every sector, and especially when we have the mothers, we have the women at the forefront. Amazing. That is what we shall continue to do right here at the National Broadcaster. We're coming to you live from Nile Avenue, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to be talking about nutrition and TB, creating TB awareness, and lots of programs in relation to health, as we find out how these women incorporate ICT in their day-to-day life, and not forgetting when they carry on with their work each passing day, and how do we benefit as a society, and what needs to be done to make Uganda a better place for the women out there. And not forgetting this very month, just in a few days, today is the 5th, on the 7th of this very month, we're going to find out the celebrations that is to do with the World Health Organization that will be getting together to celebrate its 75th anniversary when it comes to World Health Day. Welcome once again. We start off with a conversation. With me on set this morning, I am having Omumbeja Nalongo Nasozi, Sylvia. She has a lot to share with us when it comes to TB, and she comes from, she's a community technical officer and TASO, working with the USAID LPHS TB activity project. And just next to me, you're going to see another lady who has also joined us. That is Jackie Immaculate Chirabo. Well, Chirabo is the founder, Nate, nutrition specialist. Hope I have the pronunciation right, Nate. We are going to be having a great conversation, speaking health this season. You're most welcome. Good morning, Chirabo.
Good morning.
How is your morning?
My morning is perfect. How about you?
Good to have such a smile and talking nutrition. When someone walks into the health sector and finds a good smile, they'll definitely get better.
Yes, I do love smiling because it's medicine for the soul. Happiness is really like the highest form of health.
Amazing. And of course, next to Chirabo, I have Sylvia Omumbeja. You're most welcome. Good morning.
Good morning, Sandra.
How have you been?
I'm very fine, thank you. How have you been?
I understand there are lots of campaigns going through when it comes to TASO,
Sure.
Creating TB awareness.
Yes,
and
please.
you have lots of programs lined up, as you'll be letting us know.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Thank you.
Starting with ICT itself, something that is part of us. There's a lot of technology changing each and every single day, and I'm sure you incorporate it somewhere along your day-to-day. We'll start with Immaculate. How do you incorporate ICT? Is it part of your work?
ICT is part of our work. We use actually a lot of technology and computers. We design flyers using Canva. We use some apps to design our flyers that communicate nutrition. We put out messages on our social media platforms, Net Nutrition Specialists. We are on Instagram, we are on Twitter, we are on Facebook, we are literally on all social media platforms. Then when we design our flyers with Canva, we are able to post them on all our platforms, and in there people are able to learn from us. And of course we also use there's artificial intelligence that's coming on, ChatGPT, and as we are searching for content, we've trained ourselves to go with the trend in ICT. What is going on, what can we use? So we pick out mainly what works for us as NATE nutrition specialist, but I believe ICT is something everyone needs. Yes. So
I had the wrong pronunciation. I had you say NET.
Yes.
It's supposed to be NET, N-A-T-E. Okay, amazing. As that someone does not miss out trying to locate you with my wrong pronunciation of the word. Sylvia, how is it done at your end where you stay when it comes to creating awareness where TB is concerned?
Oh, thank you so much. Now in our project, we've used ICT to ensure that we, like just Jackie has said, we use ICT to ensure that we print out flyers that we can distribute to entire communities, just to ensure that we give them that specific communication where they can pick out specific information that helps them to know facts about TB, how TB is spread, how someone can get to know that they could be suffering from TB. we print out such brief messages in local languages in particular, because we've been working in particular districts of Kampala, Wakiso and Mokono, but we make suit messages so that someone can read and be self-aware of these symptoms, how TB is spread, where do they go if they find that they have such symptoms, how long is the treatment, and basically we put contacts that they may be able to reach to us and be able to have these services when they get to see that information. So actually ICT, it is something that is helping, that patients can even reach you out in case they get to have this information. Yes.
Wow. Just getting to the nutritionist right here, Immaculate. What would your advice be for someone starting their day? You know, there's a lot of stress, a lot of pressure for one to start a day. At times, many of them think of like going to work and they're like, oh my God. We think about the rain itself. In the morning, you're like, oh my God, I have to get out of this blanket. You know, lots of things tend to trouble us, and others complain of issues to do with the economy. There's really a lot of distractions ongoing. What would advice be for someone out there when they're yet to start a day?
Besides being a nutritionist, I'm a wellness expert. Now, when it comes to wellness, it's clearly how well are you on a daily. So with wellness, it's the daily habits, the things that you do every day that impact your health and wellness. So how to start a day? First of all, in the modern day, much as technology is good, it's not good to start your day with technology, with a phone. That's what most people do. So I usually advise people, take time to first meditate in the morning before you rush for anything. For Christians, usually you first say a word of prayer or get into the word. That's a better way to set your day than just waking up and jumping out of bed. Once you are done, then you can go for a glass of water. This water can have some lemon or cucumber in it. Reason, at night, there's a lot of detoxification, a lot of wastes are removed, a lot of processes are going on as you sleep. So in the morning, we need to flush out those toxins.
The hot water or the cold, the lukewarm, the room temperature?
It's better to start with lukewarm or warm water, or even room temperature, whatever works. We know we are different individuals. There are people who prefer it warm, there are people who prefer room temperature, but you just drop in a few slices of cucumber or lemon. Now that's a better pace for your day. Don't start off with the phone. And then therein, you can take a shower. It depends on you, but a cold shower.
It's supposed to be a cold one.
A cold shower energizes
much as
you.
the showers on the outside.
Yes, it doesn't matter the weather, but a cold shower is really good for the morning, even still for detoxification as well. After your cold shower, you could dress up, head to work. Still, it depends on really how your work is, because some people just start off with their phones, they need to answer emails. So it's not good for someone to start off the first few hours of your morning with a phone. Then thereon, you can take it on as the day goes. You have your breakfast. You can have your breakfast between 7 a.m. to 11. It depends on really your work schedule. Make sure you have breakfast, and a hearty breakfast. By a hearty breakfast, I mean a breakfast that is satisfying.
Satisfying?
Yes.
Like a donut, a Rolex?
Not a donut or Rolex, of
a
course.
Rolex and some black tea?
Not really. Those are not really like healthy breakfast options. The best breakfast option are fruits. Reason, they are high in water and high in fiber. So we cannot start our day with a chapati. That's a bad way to kick off your day. You know, when you eat those
and the fruits and the water, of course, as you prescribe, we also have to understand that to be able to accommodate.
You see, that's a misconception. Healthy eating is so cheap in Uganda.
Very affordable.
Yes,
Very affordable.
You will get a mango at 1,000. It's the same price as a chapati. There is no difference. Personally, I find even people who eat unhealthy, they spend a lot of money. A Rolex is 3,000. A banana is 1,000, 2 bananas are 1,000, and they are going to fuel you, and they are going to also nourish your body.
The others who are into the oils and the salt, you know, I need to take something that is salty.
Actually, in Uganda, we have the best organic food, the cheapest. We are really, really a blessed nation. I strive for one thing in Uganda: every Ugandan should be healthy.
That's a must.
Of course, have yourself a good breakfast. You can do fruits. You can also do whole wheat bread. You can do a porridge. Millet porridge that has not been tempered with, you know. Not
tempered with? That's a bit technical.
Tempered with simply means it has not been processed. It has not gone so much through the machines. As food goes through the machines, some nutrients are lost along the way. So we don't want to consume lots of those. The best porridge is millet porridge.
Wow.
Yes.
Hey, before you make someone out there think of food and something to bite, let's just move to Sylvia.
Yes,
Sylvia, with the cases that you encounter in the communities in regards to TB, what could be the problem? Is it because those that are already infected go back to the communities, either without knowing that they have? What could be the issue?
Yeah, that could be a case, but also we are having people with poor seeking behavior. Someone can have a cough for like a month and they're not bothered. Someone could having all those signs and symptoms for TB. They have on and off fever, they have drenched night sweats, they have loss of appetite, but they're not bothered. Leaving that aside, also people who do not complete their TB treatment, they continue to transmit their disease within their communities. They are staying in. Just imagine one TB case can infect 4 people in a day. So just imagine if this person is there roaming around in the community and they're not on TB treatment. So that means they have, TB affects 4 times men compared to women. Just imagine you have this particular Ugandan, he's a man, he will wake up very early in the morning, goes to work, from there they'll go to have lunch, different place, from there they'll come back home, then they go to watch football. So you find that someone is there with signs and symptoms, but they are not worried, they are not bothered to come and seek health care.
So why is it the men are more infectious, or because they make so many movements?
Research is still going on, and with the dialogue meetings we've had with some of them, they actually give reasons like they are breadwinners. They see that the time they spend at health facility waiting for them to be like maybe serviced, to maybe be tested, is really time consuming. They see they need to make sure they
to get that last
to ensure
coin.
that they
get the coin.
Yeah, exactly. So another thing is also not adhering on treatment very well. You find that the government has put all the measures that are required for someone to get tested. You diagnose them, you start them on treatment, but they do not complete treatment. So this is a very big problem. Someone starts treatment, they get better in 2 weeks, they think they are better.
Speaking about the treatment itself,
yes.
How long is the duration? Is it a 3 months treatment or 6 months treatment? That they opt to run away from it.
The duration is 6 months. That is the first line drug for a susceptible case. But you also have resistant tuberculosis, where the drug is individualized. So a resistant kind of treatment is this one where the first line now cannot do anything on you. So the germ is already resistant to the first line. So for you to get cured, you would need an individualized treatment regimen, which starts from 9 months. Others have 12 months, and others have 24 months. It depends. But with the research that has come up now, there are shorter regimens where someone can be diagnosed with resistant TB, but still there's this shorter regimen. Someone can take their treatment and get well.
Okay, that's it. Is it because of the persistent cough? How does it come about? Is it because you've coughed for long, like for 2 months, and the cough isn't going, then it turns out to be tuberculosis? Is there a specific viral infection that relates to it?
Oh, TB, it's a germ, and it is spread through air. It's an airborne disease. So if there's anyone that carries a bacteria and they cough or speak or laugh, they'll definitely transmit to the rest of other people.
Person.
Yes.
Okay, so immaculate comes in. Someone is on treatment. Imagine they have to be, now it's part of their diet every time they're swallowing a tablet for the next 6 months or 9 months. How would you help them out?
Firstly, when you look at an infection, you're looking at bettering this person's immunity. The body has been built in a way that it's able to fight if well nurtured. So the issue with people who are having like resistant tuberculosis, they have not built that immune system that can be able to fight off this tuberculosis. So that's where diet comes in. You must eat food that betters your immunity or your immune system to be able to fight off that infection. I don't know if in your programs you do have nutrition as well, but nutrition is very key in management of any condition. It is the first line medicine. And then when we look at maybe the medications that are taken on, when someone takes medication for so long, in the long run it affects your liver and how the liver functions. So because of that, we tend to want to lessen medication and increase diet. The best diet I would recommend, what I've seen with most Ugandans is we do not balance our meals so well. Our meals are not well balanced. Half of someone's plate at lunchtime should have vegetables.
Half of the plate?
Yes.
I'm trying to imagine. Color green?
Yes. Actually, not only color green, you know, God is so wise. The way he made fruits and vegetables, he made them in different colors.
So what happens, because you might go to a place and then you have this meal, you have the different colors, the matoke, the rice and everything, and then you have the fruits on the side, and then you have the veggies. So what goes first?
So really, like I say, a full plate, half of it should have vegetables for lunch.
So I consume the fruits first, before the meal?
Not really. I'm just trying to show you, like, we don't want those plates that are split, that the fruits are this side, the vegetables are this side. We're talking about the whole plate. Half of it should have vegetables of all kinds, of all colors. Then the other half, we split it into two.
The sukuma wiki?
No, actually, when it comes to vegetables, we have very many vegetables that taste really good. The eggplants, biringanya, there is different kinds. It's not just the greens, the sukuma wiki, the spinach. It also depends on how you prepare them, and the people in communities have them. So at each meal, make sure you have enough vegetables, because these are the best for your immune system. We also have things like garlic, spices that are good for the immune system. I think you saw during COVID, people were taking lots of garlic, lots of lemon, because you need to boost your immune system. So it's the same thing when someone has an infection that is not going away. We try to make sure that you feed in a way that boosts your immunity. Like I talked about, fruits and vegetables have lots of colors, and each color there represents a nutrient. It represents what we call phytonutrients. Actually, they are still researching the phytonutrients in fruits and vegetables to give them to you. And then we have antioxidants as well that support the body at cellular level. So that's the kind of support that individual needs, not just drugs to take away that condition.
I'm thinking of a viewer who is just like me, whose hobby is about eating, and they're enjoying the conversation. So I'm sure they're going to do their best when it comes to lunchtime. Do your best. At least if you could have missed out on the breakfast bit, do your best when it comes to lunchtime.
And she's actually mentioned something very important about nutrition and
supplementation,
yes.
diet and
so
treatment.
we are actually looking for stakeholders. I think Jackie and the team.
Networking. Then
yes,
the ICT comes in. We need each other.
Yeah, it would be
a space.
Yeah, it would be a good thing to jointly work together. Have you one on these clinics, and you know, you give us a bit of health education and sensitize people on how they can have dietary and then medicine and diet, so that we can have someone get cure of TB.
As she was talking, I thought of another key point that most of us miss out, and that is supplementation. You know, much as we eat food, much as we try try to balance our meals. When it comes to nutrition, there's a lot of gambling. So supplementation comes in handy. A multivitamin, you'd benefit from those daily micronutrients. Like, let's say I'm not able to have my meals on time, or I eat my fruits.
Or the fish itself is very expensive.
Yes. So you'd benefit from supplementation. So at least you have the
supplements on a daily.
Yes. Countries abroad, Sweden, they really try so much to have supplementation. I think even in the US, because people cannot afford to be sick. So you either have a proper diet, and you also do a lot of supplementation. Key nutrients, vitamin A, vitamin C, you can have them in tablet form, and still those can be able to keep you going.
Well, Sylvia,
yes,
you talked about the issues to do with someone taking the medication for like 2 weeks. They feel they're getting better, and they get off the treatment, and then the men themselves, I'm sure research is so right. They feel they're wasting like a lot of time at the health centers, and a lot of issues that come through. What are the other challenges that you encounter when it comes to your line of work?
Okay, thank you so much. We have mentioned about the delays in the hospital, but in the communities, one major challenge that we are facing is the people who do not want to come and test. That's why we have come up with the community activities to come down and reach to our people so that we go down and trace for them. So we have really mapped the high burden sites from the hospital registers, and then we have a community team that goes down and look for these people. Sort of, we do outreaches. Then we have another strategy of door-to-door where we have maybe a patient leads you to their contacts, so that you can be able to screen them. But also someone can deliberately refuse to give you a sputum. You can find someone has all the symptoms for tuberculosis, but they fail to give you a sputum. Then others we seek for their consent to come home. They give you the consent, they give you the directions, but as let me say a few minutes to reach them, they switch off their phones. So that means you will miss them.
Or they'll be like, this one should we really trust this person? Is she from government? Is she from that same very good program? Like how they come to immunize the children and you're like, expired.
Someone can even tell you this is a wrong number, but it's the same person you've been calling for like entire week trying to make
so at the end of the day it turns out to be a wrong number.
So such challenges really affect our work, but another challenge is that they come to the hospital when they are very sick. A hospital like Shurudu, we have had cases where patients come in when they're very ill. You start them on treatment and then they do not make it like yes, because the treatment is very. We have. The regimen is in we have 4 drugs, but someone takes 2 depending on your weight. So if someone is very thin, very ill, they are not eating well, like she has said, you do not expect them to thrive well. So I'm just encouraging people that if they're in the community and you're having the signs and symptoms we've talked about, you have low appetite, you've had this cough, the prolonged cough, the on and off fevers, you've lost weight, please come for TB testing. It is a free service and you shouldn't worry. Tuberculosis is curable, 6 months treatment, someone takes and you will really gain well.
Yeah, I was waiting for the later moment for them to get to understand that it's actually curable.
It is curable. TB is curable.
Yes. Even if someone is breastfeeding or anything, they can still go on with their treatment.
Yes, please.
Even when
and the bad thing is that it affects everyone. TB affects the educated, the rich, although it mostly affects the poor for the reasons she has mentioned about. But the government has put in place interventions that can help everyone. Yeah. Speaking about the burden, TB affects 30 people in Uganda every day. Every day? Yes. And the new infections, we have 247 new infections that occur. Just imagine if the new infections are coming up and then they're not on treatment, that means the transmission is going to be very high.
So where do the new infections come from? Because I'm trying to figure it out. Is it because of the persistent, for someone who has had it for such a long time and they're still mingling or they're still living within the community, that the infection, I don't know,
okay,
the bacteria?
Definitely, if the new cases are not on treatment, expect the transmission to keep ongoing.
The new infections, is it because of the variations, the weather patterns? I'm trying to figure it out.
I guess if everyone who is diagnosed takes their treatment very well, and if someone presents with symptoms, if we do have everyone tested, you get to know your TB status. If you're positive, you start on treatment. If we support the people who are living with TB and they complete their TB treatment, I'm sure we can.
So where we stand as Uganda, there's nothing like we need to sit and fold our hands. There's still a lot that has to be done.
Yes, there's. Everyone needs to pull up their efforts so that we can really fight the burden of TB in Uganda.
Immaculate. What are some of those usual cases that visit your office? Is it because of obesity, they want to lose weight, they're eating too much, like me who snacks every time I'm stressed?
For my case, actually, wellness, like we have two parts. There's nutrition, there's wellness, which everyone is a client. Everyone is a client. We've had pregnant mothers come in for consultations on how to feed. How do I feed for two without adding extra weight? How do I make sure that my child is okay? Then we also have children as patients, because we realize most children get infections so much these days. And like I talked about immunity, so if we try to feed into that gap, it's mainly because of what they're feeding them. Parents have this thing in mind that children love sugary foods or very sweet foods, but the more you give them such foods, the more their immunity goes down, and so they quickly fall sick. We do breastfeeding support programs as well to help mothers, because breastfeeding, I mean, is the first food. And so if a parent does not give their child that fast food, because they probably don't know, and maybe hospitals have not educated these mothers so well, they'll just tell them, you can give formula, you can do this. Most mothers need support. Then we have programs that are for a normal person just like me. I want to come in, I want to know, how do I better my diet? What do I do for myself as Jackie, or even as Sylvia, even you? You can.
So, I mean, the men also come.
Yes, we do have men's health.
You're talking about the women, the breastfeeding, so the men came as well. They come as well. And what are their complaints?
We do have men's health programs as well for prostate support, prostate health as well. Men also, we have programs for stress management as well, because most people, you know how Uganda is. I came to terms with it. Everyone is stressed.
I was waiting to really understand how Uganda is.
Everyone who comes,
every client comes with a bit of stress.
Like, you know, I'm stressed, and you know what stress does to the body. If you have any illness and you add stress to it, it worsens. So most people out there are stressed, even mental health issues, and to think that there's a link between what you eat and mental health. Then we have the working class. There's something called chronic fatigue syndrome. It's affecting most people on their work desks.
Right from the brains?
Yes. Comes with a brain fog, actually. Your mind is clouded with so much. You're having body aches, but they don't go away.
You don't even have enough sleep. So how do you handle such a person?
They actually do have enough sleep, but they are not rested even after sleep. That's like a consistent, someone has been fatigued for so long, and now the body doesn't even know how to deal with it.
It has nothing to do with like take a break, go to the village, you know, try to put your shoes off for a while. What is the treatment like?
The treatment firstly is diet. What are you eating? Some foods cause more fatigue than others. I can give an example: the wheat, the chapatis, they increase your fatigue. Meats as well, they increase your fatigue. And surprisingly, the best foods for chronic fatigue are raw.
I wish you knew. Some people I know, when they're done on a Friday, the week is ending, they're like, tomorrow no work, I should go home. Fumbaka nyama kani. That's what they say. And you're talking about meat bringing some element of fatigue.
The point is, meat is not a problem. The problem is eating meat every day. You miss out from other food groups. So that's what most people do. Every lunch, meat. Every lunch, meat. Then you go out, meat. Everything meat. So that's where the problem comes in. You miss out the variety. There's a variety principle when it comes to nutrition. And that's what most people miss out. When a dietitian comes, they just say, she's going to tell me not to eat meat. No. Yes, but there's some
So
foods.
how can Sylvia manage with the patients there? Because I mean, on a daily, we have stress. You'd see and think the person is healthy. They have a good job. They have maybe they're living a better life, but they're actually stressed, like you say, the fatigue, the chronic fatigue itself, and then the patients themselves. Thinking of the tablets, like today you need to swallow about 7 of them, and in the night your body itches, or you're totally weakened, or they even make your head, go spinning around. So how can they handle that bit of stress?
Stress has two ways. Firstly, some people deny it. Accept that I'm stressed in this particular period. Find out the cause of your stress as well. Then there are some supplements called adaptogens. What adaptogens literally do is they help the body cope with that stress. So most people need supplementation. And stress, of course, also makes the body work double what it needs. So you need diet support, you need proper supplementation, then of course not forgetting taking a break. You cannot work from January to December. It's not possible. So we really need to take a pause and then relax, not work. Actually, I've realized the things that stress people are not even work. The phone, if someone spends 3 hours on the phone, it's not, yes, you understand.
No data is also another stress.
So the things that stress people, I've sat with clients and I say, let's zero down what's causing your stress. And they don't have it. But they are stressed.
But I need you to prescribe something.
Tell me that I'm stressed because my child this and this, I'm stressed because this and this. Then of course, going back to community setup, as we sit here to have a conversation, you laugh through, you relax a bit. So that system where people are always alone is a big problem. Social connections are also part of stress relieving. Have a friend. Go home with your family, sit with your friends, talk to them, confide in others.
Now, the other programs that you talked about earlier on, as you explained, to handle the stress and every bit of it, and the supplements as well, one is like, that is money. That is money. How affordable?
Programs are very affordable. Like I told you, people think diet is so expensive. It's the cheapest thing you can do because it's an investment. If you do not deal with your stress and invest that money to take care of yourself, in the long run, you're going to have heart problems, you're going to have hypertension, and someone is small, but they have hypertension.
Sylvia, please briefly tell us some of the programs that you have on board. I'm sure there's a lot of activity going on, lots of campaigns. Thursday is coming through. We are yet to celebrate the World Health Day. What are some of those programs that you have lined up?
Okay. Unfortunately, we've just celebrated our big day. I don't know if you learnt about it.
Yes.
The World TB Day on 24th.
How was it? How
which
were the
was celebrated in Butaleja district. It went on very well. People were tested. We had people giving sermons. Are they TB experts? Are they TB champions?
The ones that have gone through the processes?
Someone had TB, but they come out now to also encourage others to. Yeah, we had people sharing their testimonies. Generally, it went on very well. But I want to encourage all Ugandans, all our viewers, that TB is still there. It is an infectious disease. So if you are there, please go and know your TB status. You've been in a taxi, you've been in maybe crowded places, you've been to hospitals where you do not know that someone has come to test for TB, and now you feel you're not well. The signs and symptoms that I've talked about, you've had cough for more than 2 weeks, you've had night sweats, you've lost appetite, you've lost weight, please come and test. TB is free. And we have all government hospitals and even accredited public health facilities giving free services to test and even treatment. So I encourage everyone to go and test.
So at least better keep the mask on, because I mean when you go to a public van, someone really puts their elbow and they can cough. They don't even have a mask.
They don't even mind. And another challenge is lack of knowledge. Our people do not have this information that TB is transmitted through air. Someone comes to test and they say bandoga. Someone doesn't know.
Have that myth going through.
It is so much in our community, but with the sensitization,
like that such things going through.
Yes, they come with such myths, but with the health talks that we have done in the health facilities down there in the communities, we try to clear them. We teach them about TB. We teach them how they can support TB patients. There's a program in the National TB and Leprosy Program of contact tracing where we educate our patients on the importance of contact tracing. If I am a case and now you're my contacts, we encourage them to give us names of the people who they spend most of their time. So when you
come to the community and you tend to check for someone who has volunteered, okay, fine. My phone is on, you can meet me here, find me, and then you check them. Do they accept to go to the health center for treatment?
Yes, most of them accept, but with the strategies that we've come up, even those who refuse, as long as we assure them that we shall support you. We have many programs that are on board to support the newly diagnosed to be on treatment. We have drug delivery, which is done by community volunteers, and then also our project, the Local Partner Health Services Project, has a program of differentiated service delivery, where we have border riders delivering drugs to the nearest. And then also we work jointly with our health our health workers. At times when we have cases of, like you have a case, someone is newly diagnosed, but they cannot come to a health facility. We've carried with ourselves the TB treatment, the drugs, the card, the weighing machines, so that we start them from where they are.
So are you yet to do the same activity come this Thursday?
Actually, the activities are ongoing as we talk. We've been in our month of March, but still the screening continues. Yeah.
Spreading love.
Yes, we are still continuing with the screening, and when we diagnose, we treat. There's also a program of prevention by the Ministry of Health. If you diagnose a case and then you find out that they have contacts, Ministry encourages that everyone who is eligible, we give them TB preventive therapy. Yes, someone takes a course to ensure that they are not, to ensure that at least they do not, because if I am a case and then you find that I have my contacts, if you give a contact who does not have the signs and symptoms, a TB preventive therapy, we assure that this person cannot have the TB germ.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Wow. Lots of information flowing.
And our people actually need this information.
They need the information, and the good thing is that someone can eat healthy at an affordable price, and then the TB itself is curable.
Yeah.
Yes, certain things like that.
A free course.
A free course.
Yeah.
And such programs. You know, Africans, it also works for me to hear that there's a bit of free. There's something free.
Free services. Yeah.
And for someone who will visit Immaculate this time around, you'll get at least a wellness discount.
Yes.
Wellness treatment discount.
What we do is we give the assessment for free. The assessment helps you to know your blood pressure, to know your body fat, body muscle percentage, body hydration. We usually give, and at that we usually also host like free camps where we give out to people. Recently we did one for Women's Day. We had a Women's Week where we gave a free assessment for every woman out there. But still, we need to educate people more to come for those assessments. Like Shaz said, very many people don't want to be assessed. They don't want to know the numbers. And
you know, it means even someone just walking to you and like, do you know your status? You first think of like, which status? What is she trying to ask? But it's good to find out your immune system, your organs, the body system itself.
Yes, we have all those. We also do tests, let me say vitamin D levels, your thyroid function. Is my thyroid functioning very well? Most people don't know, and you could be there packing on weight, but you have a thyroid issue. And you can be there thinking that, I eat right.
I am healthy, I'm putting on some weight, kumbe you're getting sick.
Yes, I eat right, but do you know your vitamin D levels? Because it's linked to that fatigue I talked about. Because most people sit in office the whole day, they never get time to be in the sun. So vitamin D deficiency is very out there. But when you never visit a wellness center to check, you will never know. So once a year, at least, come with your family, come with your people, and do a comprehensive check, even for your children. And even we do dietary assessment. Dietary assessment is so easy. Tell me the foods you eat on a daily. Breakfast, lunch, dinner.
But at least there's a free package somewhere.
Yes. Yes.
What are some of those lighter moments, the achievements all through?
The achievements all through. One of my best achievements as a dietitian is seeing disease reversed. For example, someone comes and they say, I fall sick often, or I have UTIs, I have candida all through, and then they start on a wellness journey or a diet plan, and then 2 months down the road, they're like, oh my God, it cleared in 1 week, my ulcers are gone. For me as a dietitian, I think that's why you're seeing me smile. That is the biggest joy I'll ever get, actually.
I am sure you can really convince.
Not really, it's not convincing. I've seen it. When it comes to things like diabetes, recently I had a client who has cancer, and she was losing weight. She was becoming nervous.
Which kind of cancer?
She had breast cancer.
Okay.
In particular. And I sit with this lady, we come up with a plan. She had never eaten healthy. She told me, Jackie, if it wasn't for cancer, I've never eaten vegetables in my entire life.
What?
And then we come up with a proper plan, and 2 weeks down the road, she's like, I'm more energetic, I feel good. I've seen colon cancers reverse. I mean, people have constipation every day. They don't know that it can result into the hemorrhoids and then later get into a colon cancer. And to think that colon cancers are the commonest cancers worldwide.
That's very true.
Yes. So when we help people and you see the hemorrhoids reverse, their digestion is going on well, ulcers, the discomfort,
so how can we
bloating.
deal with the cancers? Because I mean, the pineapples, one would say, yesterday we were sharing again, to do with the pineapples. Someone says, I have the ulcers, I can't do it. How can we deal with that? Because I mean, it seems to be, you know, so fast, spreading so fast.
Yes, so we have a sort of diet called an elimination diet, but most people don't know there are some foods you could be eating every day, but they're affecting your digestion. And some of us, our digestion, our guts are different, our digestive systems are different, some are sensitive. So very many people have very sensitive guts and they don't know. So they keep taking lemon, they keep taking pineapple. Yes, they are healthy foods, but not for your gut. That means that you can avoid them. So with the elimination comes avoiding those foods for a particular time. And then once your gut is now able, you can bring them back, but not every day. Yes, that's the essence of seeing a dietitian, actually.
Well, Sylvia, I'm sure the moments you've smiled at least, for those you were sharing earlier on to do with the testimonies that have come through for those that have managed the treatment after the 6 months and have registered good, good progress.
Good treatment outcomes.
Yes. What are some of those achievements?
Well, for the community, I should say we've been able to catch up with people with TB. Out there, we have community linkage facilitators who are doing the screening from the community. But at least if we do well the mapping, we've been able to catch up the cases. We have a target of 15%. But if I must celebrate that the community team is doing well. If this quarter, we do quarterly reporting. So if you find yourself reporting 15 and above, that means we are really doing much work. We have put in quite bigger efforts to see that we reach to everyone who has tuberculosis. Although it is still lacking, we still need more efforts, but at least we are trying. And then also, we have reduced on the number of people who are getting lost with the sensitization on the different media, then also the health talks in the health facilities, moving down to the communities. We try to encourage people to complete their TB treatment once they start it. So we have seen the number of patients who get lost on treatment is coming down. So that is an achievement also.
Which kind of the age brackets were the case scenarios that you've been encountering, or them coming for treatment or use support in the communities? Tell us about the age bracket.
Well, here, since, like I told you in the start, TB affects everyone. We've had even the little ones presenting with signs and symptoms. We have a TB Ward 15 where we're seeing PIDs diagnosed with TB, but also the elderly are also much affected with tuberculosis. But mostly it's between the age of 18 and above. So we've seen the elder being affected, and then also I cannot forget to mention about people who are infected with HIV, because their immune system goes down, so they are prone to have TB. So, and you know, this is
it's not like it's a must that they're supposed to suffer from TB
no,
because they already have the virus, or it's because the immune system is low?
It's not a must that everyone who has HIV has to have TB. We have people who are infected with HIV, but they're adhering well on their treatment. But we have these people who are HIV positive, but they have never tested for TB. And then we have those who are affected with HIV, but they are not adhering well on treatment. Definitely, they'll be affected. Yeah.
Oh, a few minutes to the top of the hour, 11 a.m. Time flies so fast. Time flies so fast, but anyway, there's really a lot of information to share. I'm sure you'll fix at least some more time to come and inspire the viewer. It's all about inspiration right here, the national broadcaster. Jackie Immaculate Chirabo, before we let you go, a word of encouragement to a fellow woman out there, or maybe someone who would like to tap into the field that you enjoy this day, you being in the nutrition department. Maybe someone wants to be part of that sector and tap from it.
My word of encouragement would be nutrition is first-line medicine, and so it is so important for more nutritionists to come on board, for more dietitians. Actually, now we are recruiting wellness nurses. We want to change the narrative in the healthcare sector. I was talking to a colleague who studied from Finland, and she said abroad, every client or every patient has a meal plan, but it's not happening in Uganda. So I encourage ladies out there to embrace this new field. I know it's new, but it's possible. Embrace it, and if you need support as NET nutrition specialists, we are available to mentor more young women, to encourage people, and it's to change lives of people out there through diet and lifestyle.
So what are you going to have for lunch? You're going to tell me in a few minutes.
I'll tell you after.
Because I need to borrow a leaf from you.
Me too.
Sylvia.
I'll need some guidance.
Sylvia, so
Yes, Sandra.
at your end, a message of encouragement or advice to your patients, to those who have tested, gone through the treatment, and their testimony, but at the end of the day, they can still get the infection once again. Maybe you could be speaking to someone out there like that.
Okay. So my word of encouragement to dear viewers is that do not lose hope. If you're there and you once tested and your status was positive for TB, I want to encourage you to take your medicine until you complete the course of treatment. It is 6 months. TB is curable, and for those of us who are there in the community and we still have the signs and symptoms, but we are worried. We think maybe if I go to the facility, they might charge me. Please feel free to contact us. TB is tested in most of the public facilities. Kampala, we have Kisenyi, we have Kawala, we have Chirudu, we have Mulago National Referral Hospital, we have Naguru, China, Uganda, we have Nsambia Home Care, we have Rubaga Hospital, there's Kitebi Health Center, and then when you come to Wakiso, we have Sanji, we have Nakauka, we have Entebbe Regional Referral Hospital, we have Tasso, we have Maldmay, JSRC, Indeje, Kajansi. All those facilities are there to give you the services that you would want. So please do not lose hope. Move to these health facilities. Just ask a health worker that I want to test for TB. They'll test you, and once you're diagnosed with TB, they'll give you the treatment that you need. People to counsel you are there. And then once you start your treatment, please ensure that you complete the treatment, because TB is curable. But remember, if you do not complete treatment, you transmit to your baby, you transmit to your husband, to your dear friends. So I'm just encouraging you, please, dear viewers, let's support the TB diagnosed people. They can have a better life. Mm-hmm. Yes.
Great words of encouragement from Omumbeja at the extreme end. Before we let you go, just one more.
Process for people to be able to learn as for themselves or to even teach others. Why should one become a dietitian? Personally, because when I was at university, I didn't believe in nutrition as much when I was doing it. But when I started practicing, I worked at a wellness center and I saw lives change through that. It hurts me so much when I see someone suffering with something that just a simple change in your diet can give results. Like I've mentioned about ulcers, diabetes, most of those conditions. So I saw it with my own eyes. I saw people's lives transformed. I saw simple changing your sleep schedule can change your life. And I've personally experienced it. I struggled with ulcers. I reached a point and I could not eat food. Whatever I would eat, I would throw up because I think my gut was too inflamed. And looking back to what I used to eat those days, even when I was a dietitian, with the knowledge in my head, I could get you a meal plan, but I wasn't doing it. So I discovered the gist is with the doing.
You need to practice what you preach.
Yes. When I started practicing what I preach, I fell much more in love with it. It's not a punishment. It's not as hard as people think out there. It is very, very easy. And true to form, even having results of it. I tell my friends I work with, I hate to see someone's skin looking a certain way, because when you eat right, everything on you starts to align. Skin health, your digestion, the energy levels, and those are just daily parts of life. So I encourage people to study this particular course. And what hurts me the most is seeing people who didn't study nutrition deceive people.
The buffet days.
Yes. The reason I pushed so hard and the reason I formed Net Nutrition Specialist was to have people find the right knowledge with an expert. There are very many dietitians out there that did this particular course but are seated, but you find someone with funny herbs on the streets, with funny knowledge, telling people this food is bad, yet you know the food is good. We even see them on TV. So that's what pushed me so much. I said, no, there's need for clarity. And then there's need to make things simpler for people. Healthy eating is so easy when you have someone who understands it, who has experienced it, and who it has worked for.
Sylvia, briefly, before we let you go enjoy your day, what inspired you to take that path, briefly?
I think I
it is ministry.
Passion, yes, I have passion to serve communities. Yes, so that's why I was really forced to do social work. I did my first degree. I did guidance and counseling, and when by chance I had to move to Mulago National Referral Hospital, is where I did my practicum to like maybe counsel TB patients and ensure that they have taken their treatment, to ensure that their contacts are also screened for TB. And I have been patient in this institution. I've been there for now 8 years, and I'm glad to see that we are changing lives of the community.
In the transformation, there's also a bit of earning.
Yeah, exactly.
Well, that's all we had time for today's episode. Thank you for your time. At the extreme end, I had Omombeja Nalongo Naso Sylvia, and she's a community technical officer and a TASO working with the USAID LPHA's TB activity project. Well done. And just next to me, Jackie Immaculate Chirabo, founder Net Nutrition Specialists. Well, for someone who looks for you today, at least give them a discount.
I will surely do.
Well, we're going to miss you, but looking forward to having more time with you, same time, same place, another date with you. That is tomorrow. My name is Sandra Kahunde. It's been a pleasure spending time with you this morning, this lovely Wednesday, the 5th day of April 2023. God bless you and take good care of yourselves. Please practice, put into consideration what the ladies have shared.
Yes.